What up, everyone? Henshin a Go-Go. Back here again because I wanted to talk about something that I kind of felt inspired to bring to light. I've only been basically traveling to events for the past going on 3 years now, and that's mainly because I've had an increased amount of resources and time. But even so, I still have, the complications of picking where I want to go. When I was younger, I usually didn't get the chance to go to competitions or events, basically, because I just didn't have the time, in school, or I didn't have a car, essentially, or the money to go, the confidence, really, that's another thing. So I really wanted to do this video right now to talk about something that, I guess a few people have covered, but I don't think I've gone into detail about, because sometimes it can be difficult, and that's, if you are interested in fighting games, I guess this is particularly something to make things easier for you, if you are, but even as a spectator, it's still useful to know how to decide what events to do and how to decide where to go, based on a few things. And so, like I said, this is kind of going to be biased towards people that are competing, but again, this can be for spectators too, because spectators are just as important, because they're either people that want to watch because they love fighting games just the same as anybody else that plays them, or they might be interested at some point themselves. Luckily, I have a significant other that's interested in fighting games. She likes to watch, but also is interested in learning how to play, like Tekken, Soul Calibur, and for a person also just getting started too, anybody, it can be extremely intimidating. So how about we get started? It's not really going to be a heavily edited video, kind of just on my soapbox talking, and hopefully this information is useful, because like I said, I'm not particularly good at making videos like this. I think I made a category like FGC counseling, and I probably will add this to it, along with that one lonely video that's there. Holy shit. But anyway, how about we get started, because I marked them down as a few things. So, how to enter and choose a tournament and pick events based on these things. And another thing I forgot to mention, I actually did mention budget, so let me keep going. So, first thing you should do in deciding, really the reason I'm doing this video in the first place is because I'm going to Frosty Faustings, and it's a semi-big event. I've been going for, just events in general. My first event was Combo Breaker 2018. And for most people, that's a lot to chew, because that's a pretty heavy event as far as like competition wise and just amount of people. For someone just starting off, I highly recommend you just pick any old event. If it's Combo Breaker, great. If it's Evo you go to first time, fucking fantastic. That's a lot to go to. And the spectacle itself is fantastic. I've never been to Evo. I personally plan to go at some point, because if you're a fighting game fan, I feel like everybody should go, whether good or bad, and just go to experience it. However, when you go to a fighting game tournament, I'm assuming the majority are going to improve. That's pretty much the first thing you're gonna experience, is that you're gonna get beat. You're gonna get beat hard, and that's okay, because a lot of folks, I know I personally go because I want to see strong competition. I go there because my friends are there. I met a lot of friends that aren't local to me, and we're still close to. We talk over Facebook Messenger and emails and whatnot. And we just stay in touch, and we just basically trade ideas or just talk in general. And that's the great thing about it. You socialize. When you travel anywhere, of course you're gonna make friends. And you learn from people that aren't local to you. You learn from people that aren't online. That's one thing. When you go to tournaments, you really absorb like so many different styles of play, and you absorb things that when you play online, you usually see a pretty cookie cutter type. Albeit a few exceptions, because I mean, the majority of people that play online either play the game because they got it and they're just doing it for fun. I'd say maybe 20% are taking it seriously, and then the 80% are playing it just to play. I am completely just throwing those numbers out there, so I can be completely wrong. However, I'm just going to say in confidence that the majority of people aren't playing to be serious and compete at EVO or CEO or hell, anywhere around the world. The small 10 to 20% are actually competing. So the likelihood you'll run into someone in that 10 to 20% is kind of low. So the only way you're really going to experience basically strong competition is going to, well, a competition, an event. Frosty Faustines is pretty well known. There's going to be a pretty wide majority of games to choose from. Which is kind of the whole reason I'm picking this or talking about this in the first place, because that's something else I'll come to, which games you decide on. I'll get back to that. And the fact that your game will be there is very likely, unless you play like a niche game, which, I mean, you'll have to pick and choose. Like, for instance, Killer Instinct, you'll probably have to go to Combo Breaker, or I think Final Round has Killer Instinct. But that's another thing I wanted to mention too, is the chance that not only will you get to experience people that play your game, like basically there's your popular games like Tekken, Street Fighter, even like Samurai Showdown is still popular, and I mean, I can name the list down, I mean, on and on and on. The people that play the game that are popular, or the popular games, will be there. And also, if your scene is very small, there's a big chance that you might get a chance to basically play the games that you normally don't get to, which is, I mean, another reason why you should go to competition. I feel like I'm going in circles right now. So I said improve and learn. I said try new things. If you're basically, I started off saying you're gonna get beat. That's just something that's gonna come, and that's completely fine. I know my rambling seems incoherent, but please hear me out. I'm going to make sense of you. Go because it's new. Go because it's something new. You're going to have to experience it if you want to improve. If you're at that plateau where you know you want to get better, you know you want to learn things, and you know you want to get rid of bad habits, then that's something you have to experience. Definitely start by going to locals. Always go to locals if they're around. And if there aren't, then you might want to consider starting one yourself, which is easier said than done. I mean, I personally try, but where I live is kind of hard because it's usually me and, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 other people, because it's a very, very small community here in the Central or Midwest. It's improving, like esports in general, and as time goes on, that will get better. So I have faith that things will go along, and if this channel gets better, then hell yeah, I definitely will use this as a platform. And if I ever learn how to talk without going basically in a 360, then that'll help out too. So bear with me, I'm not great at this. I never have been, and hopefully, I mean, let's see, hopefully in the near future I will improve. Alright, so I mentioned your game will be there because you'll get to meet people who are strong. Don't be afraid to ask basically anybody, just, hey, you want to run some sets? And the chance that if you play a game that is very niche, like for instance Deki Bukan Fighting Climax, I own that shit. I own that hot bathroom stall garbage, and that shit is so fucking fun. That's my hot bathroom stall garbage that I love to play. Million Arthur Arcania, shit, I can't even fucking think of the whole title. Million, I don't know. I'm gonna end up playing it at some point because I want to. A friend of mine put me on from St. Louis. He put me on to that game. You'll get to play games that you usually don't. Let's see. Get away from playing online. I mean, everyone enjoys that. I definitely do. I need, after like hours and hours and hours of playing online and having lag, it's really, really, really nice to have some offline matches. There's nothing like, absolutely nothing like playing someone locally. Like, it's just night and day the difference. I mean, as you've been following the FGC, netcode is becoming a bigger and bigger issue to basically kind of counteract that. So, hopefully in the future we'll see if those two can compare. But for now, nothing compares to playing someone local. I mean, like I said, anything that you learn online, you probably want to take away very little from that and take away what you learn locally, because when you play locally, you become so much better, like incredibly better. When I went to CEO and then coming back here to play online and then just my people locally, the difference is like staggering. The amount of things that and it's just like essentially anything, like if you learn from a tutor or anything else compared to learning from just the book you're reading yourself. That tutor compared to just the book you're reading on your own, a math tutor teaching me as opposed to me learning on my own a math problem, I'm going to understand that problem so much better and so much faster from the person walking me through it personally, as opposed to the book on my own. And even though I'm capable with the book on my own, it's going to be so much better and so much quicker with the person walking me through it personally, if that makes sense. And I think I was going to say, yeah, I think that's it. I was going to say it's a pretty short list. Whenever you're going to competitions, I guess like anything, it's a road trip. So, you always want to have a plan, essentially, what to do. Always plan ahead, of course. Know where you're going to be. Definitely don't want to stay anywhere dank. That's definitely good, because Daytona was... it was interesting. It was lively. I can definitely appreciate the new venue. However, I can imagine like people having a struggle of getting there. Luckily, me and Rachel were able to land in the Daytona airport and had a rent-a-car ready. And yeah, we didn't have to worry about transits, really anything. It was just the matter of getting off the plane, making sure our stuff was there. The rent-a-car was ready to go as soon as we got there, luckily. And we got all our stuff, no problems. We got the hotel, no problem. Everything was hunky-dory. Nothing went wrong. Nope. If you do have to take transits and fun, just make sure you do shit ahead of time. Double check that shit, triple check. Know where you're gonna be. Hell, I'm just giving freaking travel advice at this point. Just know where you're gonna be, and just maybe ask around in your local Reddit scene, or if that people have been there, ask around. Just figure out, research everything. And other than that, I'm trying to think. Oh, I forgot. I was gonna say, reason I'm rambling kind of back and forth is because I always forget something. Number one thing, and the biggest question I'm sure a lot of people ask, because I personally did, is what kept me from traveling sooner, is how do you do it on a budget? Well, you definitely don't go if you don't have the money. That's pretty point blank. If you don't have the money to travel, to drive, to fly, whatever, you can't go. Unfortunately, that's just the reality. You gotta bust your ass and save up your pennies, but you gotta pay your bills, you gotta feed your kids, you gotta do all that shit responsible adults do. If you do decide you want to go, like for instance, the reason why I picked Frosty Faustines, and then I actually had to choose between Faustines and KIT. And it was really tough because I really want to go to KIT, because there's a very, really big Tekken scene there, and I definitely want to improve my game there. However, there's also a Tekken scene at Faustines, maybe not the one that I would expect, but it's still something. Another reason I decided Faustines and not KIT, because it works better with my work schedule. That's another thing you're going to have to decide on. Faustines is January 17th to January 20th, while KIT is January 4th to, I think it's January 4th to January. third, or excuse me, other way around, third to fourth. Worst better schedule we can manage to get off. Though that, like I said, that's just gonna conflict with things. If you can't get off, or you can't get those days off, that's just gonna help. And I mean that hopefully helps dumb down the decision. So we got, if you don't have the money, don't go. Work with your work schedule, plan ahead. Okay, if you do decide to go, what do you do? What games do you play? Well, when you want to basically focus or go to a competition, if you're a spectator, and by all means pick wherever you want, local scene, big Evo scene, please don't be afraid to go. It's, like I said, everyone's nice. 99.9.8% of people are fantastic and will help you. The other 0.1% I can't speak for. When you go to an event as a player and it's a first time and you want to basically do a lot of things, it's easy to basically get overwhelmed. I think when I did Combo Breaker, I did like 3 or 4 games. I did Injustice 2, I did DBZ, I think I did Street Fighter, and I did Tekken. That was a mistake. I got my ass spanked in Injustice, got spanked in DBZ, Dragon Ball Fighters. I did better in Tekken because that was the game I was focusing on the most at the time, and I got spanked in Street Fighter. At the time, looking back, and again, you're gonna make those mistakes, I wish I had just focused on Tekken. Or if I did one other game, I probably might have just done Injustice, because I played that secondly the most. When you go to a competition, that old saying, the jack of all trades is a master of none, goes freaking just, it's perfect. If you focus on more than one game, you're going to fuck up. If you're that good, if you're that person, if you're in full like Sonic Fox mode and you're just feeling yourself and you feel like you can play Soul Calibur, DOA, Tekken, Street Fighter, KOF, Samurai Showdown, if you feel like you can cover all 6 games that you play, please go fucking do that shit, because if you can kill it in all those games, by all means, you're a multitasking god. I know personally myself, I realized that I should focus on maybe one, even though I like to play a lot of different fighting games pretty much all the time, even though I focus on mostly 1 or 2, I might just pick 2, even though I play like 5 or 6 different things at a time, because I might only be decent at 1 or 2. Those other things I'm just either learning in the moment or I'm just enjoying for fun, and I'm getting overwhelmed because I'm like, oh shit, people are playing Third Strike, and I play a little bit of that. Meanwhile, I'm complete culo. I'm complete gutter trash, like Dudley style, at Third Strike. I mean, I would never play in a I wouldn't feel confident, and that's the thing I think, and that's the word I was looking for. Feel confident in the game that you're playing. Even if you know you will lose, you want to feel confident, and that's the biggest thing you need. In Tekken, I'm extremely confident in who I'm playing. If I played any other game, even in Mortal Kombat that I play regularly, I know I can play that game and understand, but like Faustines, I'm going to play Tekken and I'm going to play Soul Calibur. I don't regularly play Soul Calibur, and I'll cover that. So, but excuse me, here's why. I feel confident in Soul Calibur because the 3D skills from Tekken carry over. Not only that, Soul Calibur is a game I'm highly interested in. Even though I don't play a lot of it, I don't get the chance to show it, and that's going to change here on the channel. I'm going to try to focus on Zasamel and Astaroth. And which out of those 2 characters I pick, I don't know. Both, who knows. However, I'm feeling confident in that game, even if I get spanked, because that is something I want to learn. That is the thing that holds true. I'm confident. Even if you're bad, learn something from the game. You're gonna lose, and even if you don't lose, that's fine. If you win and move forward, great. Anticipate the worst, but hope for the best. I guess that old saying goes. So when it comes, I guess, before I get too far, because this video is going on for about 20 minutes, make sure you feel confident in what you're doing. Unless you're just that good, stick to 1 or 2 games, because, and also financially too, that's another thing, because I mean, it's good, like if you're going to locals and you're going to play like 5 or 6 different games, freaking donate to your local community. That's what it's all about. However, if you don't have the means because you're going to, I mean, if you choose to carpool with your buds and they all want to chip in on gas money, or you all want to take a trip somewhere and 4 friends can distribute the wealth evenly, and you can go to wherever in the country or internationally, and you have the means to do that, make sure you're factoring that into basically your event. You're gonna have to pay to travel, gas, or whatever form of transportation. Plus, if you're staying there or coming back, that's another thing to factor. And then the amount of games. And each game, like for instance, registering soon, like Faustines, if you register early, it's 50. I mean, I registered semi-late, so it's 60 for me. And I entered 2 other games, which totaled, oh, I got a hat. So that totaled be about $100. So I'm paying that. Plus, with a trip of traveling, so gas, about maybe about $300, okay? And I have that planned out. If you can afford that, great. But like I said, live within your limits. And if you're only focused, and if you like a bunch of games, that's great. The best thing about an event, and I guess I'll close this video on it, is even if you don't get to play the game in like competitively, it's always casuals. And that's the best thing about any event is casuals, because there's no pressure. Casuals and friendlies, man. Even the biggest events like Evo have friendlies, and especially if they have a 24-hour venue like a CEO or anywhere else, if they have friendlies, use that, because that'll be your chance to play anything that you didn't get the chance to enter in. So that hopefully will make up for the fact that you didn't get to enter. Guys, I hope this video was helpful. I kind of was just doing a sit down and wanted to talk about events and how it can be tricky to choose. Hopefully it helped. If I missed a reason, or if you had any other questions, just let me know. I kind of wanted to make this an advice video, but I feel like I'm not feeling confident now in my coherence, but I'm sure it'll work out fine, so I'll leave it at that. I'll be training Soul Calibur, Tekken, posting those videos. Regardless of competitions, I'll still be playing those games because I still want to learn the rosters of Soul Calibur and Tekken, and anything else too that I play. I'm just gonna post it at this point. I really just want to figure out how this fucking setup works, because I'm still struggling with certain things. So hopefully sooner than never, I'll get this shit up and I'll start bringing you quality content, because I mean, hell, we've gotten this far and it's been a fun ride, and it's gonna keep going. So until next time, guys, I appreciate it. Leave your comments, your likes,